Welcome back. Before we dive into restaurant conversations, let's clarify some key vocabulary. Erica, could you start by explaining what food poisoning means and why it's important when eating out?
Absolutely, Marco. Food poisoning happens when you eat contaminated food, often due to bacteria or improper handling, and it makes you sick, sometimes very suddenly. The CDC estimates about 48 million cases occur annually in the U.S., highlighting why food safety is crucial.
That's a significant number. Another term that often comes up is allergic. How is being allergic different from getting food poisoning? And what are some common food allergies people should look out for in restaurants?
Great question. Allergies are immune reactions to specific foods like peanuts, shellfish, or dairy. Unlike food poisoning, which affects nearly anyone who eats contaminated food, allergies only impact people sensitive to particular ingredients. For example, even trace amounts of nuts can trigger severe reactions in some guests.
So, knowing these terms really helps when communicating with restaurant staff. As we move forward, let's discuss how to use this vocabulary when making meal choices. Now that we have the vocabulary, let's practice making recommendations. Erica, what's a polite way to ask for suggestions at a restaurant, especially if you're new to the neighborhood?
You can say, "Do you have any suggestions?" Or, "Do you have any ideas?" These open-ended questions invite the other person to share their favorite spots or dishes. Sometimes, it's helpful to specify what you're in the mood for, like, "I'm in the mood for something light."
That makes sense. On the flip side, how should someone respond if they're asked for recommendations? Are there phrases that sound more natural or friendly in English?
Definitely. Phrases like, "I'd recommend giving it a try," or "You've got to give them a try," sound conversational and enthusiastic. Native speakers often use contractions, saying "I'd recommend" instead of "I would recommend," which helps you sound more fluent.
I see. Using these expressions creates a more engaging exchange. Next, let's explore how to express preferences and dislikes without sounding impolite. When dining out, it's common to have specific tastes or dietary restrictions. Erica, what phrases can people use if they're not interested in a particular cuisine or have allergies?
A polite way is to say, "I'm not all that crazy about Italian food," which means you don't really like it, but it's softer than saying, "I hate Italian food." If you have allergies, you can say, "I'm allergic to seafood," making it clear you need to avoid certain dishes.
That's very tactful. Are there cultural differences when expressing dislikes? For instance, in some countries, refusing a dish might seem rude. How can someone navigate this diplomatically in English-speaking contexts?
In English-speaking cultures, indirectness is often preferred. Saying, "I'm in the mood for something lighter," or "I'd prefer something else tonight," acknowledges the suggestion but gently redirects the conversation. This approach is usually appreciated for its politeness.
That's helpful advice. Next, let's talk about practical scenarios, like what to do if you end up with food poisoning or encounter other challenges. Unfortunately, sometimes things go wrong, like getting food poisoning or receiving a dish you're allergic to. Erica, can you share a personal story or advice on managing these situations?
Sure, Marco. I once had food poisoning after drinking fresh orange juice while traveling. It was likely contaminated with unclean water. In such cases, it's important to alert restaurant staff or seek medical help if symptoms are severe. Also, always ask about ingredients if you have allergies. Most restaurants are accommodating.
That's a valuable reminder. Statistically, travelers are at higher risk due to unfamiliar food handling standards. How can people minimize these risks when eating out abroad?
Look for busy places where food turnover is high, and don't hesitate to ask for bottled water or well-cooked dishes. Using clear language, like, "Is this dish safe for someone allergic to nuts?" helps prevent misunderstandings. Apps and translation cards can also bridge communication gaps.
Excellent tips. Understanding both the language and the cultural context truly enhances the dining experience. Let's wrap up with a quick summary of today's lessons.